Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Sunday, June 10th, 2018. My name is Thomas Hunt, and here's what's happening today in Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin was down 3.31% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 7,251, a high of 7,632, and a low of 7,195. That's $1 for 13,815 Satoshis. Our top story: Bitcoin tumbles the most in 2 weeks amid a South Korea hack. Bitcoin extended losses for a third day, tumbling as much as 6% Sunday, as South Korean cryptocurrency exchange CoinRail said there was a cyber intrusion in its system. The largest cryptocurrency declined 4.6% to 7,277 as of 10 a.m. time, the biggest drop since May the 23rd, according to data compiled by Bloomberg from Bitstamp pricing. That widens Bitcoin's losses from the year to 49%. Peer cryptocurrencies, Ethereum and Ripple, not a cryptocurrency, fell 5% and 6.6%, respectively. Contrail said in a statement on its website that it's reviewing its system due to the hacking attempts. The exchange says it's managed to freeze all exposed accounts and that other cryptocurrencies are now being kept in a cold wallet. The statement is the only content available on the exchange's homepage, and contact information could not immediately be located. Big news from South Korea. Bitcoin price analysis. The king breaks down, takes the army along. On the daily chart, though, Bitcoin trading down nearly 4% on the day, near the low. On the hourly chart, Bitcoin has broken down a critical support and has been going lower ever since breaking below, taking all other major cryptocurrencies along with it. On the daily chart, however, Bitcoin is expected to hold on to the long-term support, which has been holding in the past, and is expected to hold this time too, currently situated at around 6,896, slightly below the round figure psychological mark of $7,000 USD. Story developing. Can't read this one anymore. So much for the Financial Times. Let's try one more time. Nope. It said Bitcoin whales control 1/3 of the market with $37.5 billion in holding. That's right. If you think Bitcoin is controlled by a small, shadowy group of individuals, you're probably right. 37, 33%, 1/3 of the market is controlled by Bitcoin whales. Who they are, when they bought, what they plan to do with their Bitcoin, no one knows, but they certainly have a lot of it. The Japanese exchange will borrow your Bitcoin for a yearly fee. Sounds like a great idea. Have one Bitcoin, loan it out. Maybe, just maybe, it will come back. Although, if it is one of those services where they only allow the coins to be loaned for other investments on the exchange and they never allow the coins to exit the exchange, you do have a good risk of getting your money back. You just then have to worry about the exchange going out of business or the exchange being hacked. Remember, when you hold your Bitcoins in a Trezor or a Ledger or a paper wallet, you hold the private keys. When you loan your Bitcoin out to a Japanese exchange for a year, they own the private keys. If you don't own the private keys, you don't know what's happening with your Bitcoin. Although, if you just want to make some money, maybe loaning it out's the way to go. Who knows? What's next for Bitcoin? 14,000 or 1,600? That's the question, isn't it? That's really the question. CFTC demands data from exchanges related to Bitcoin price manipulation investigation. The CFTC continues their investigation. There have been rumors swelling around major Bitcoin price manipulation taking place. While such a development wouldn't surprise a lot of people, proving nefarious activity is easier said than done. In this particular case, the manipulation is said to be linked to the launch of Bitcoin futures. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group introduced such vehicles several months ago. Perhaps the future traders drove down the price of Bitcoin to take all the money from everyone who'd gone long on their futures exchanges. Sure, going long on Bitcoin, the incredibly new, wonderful, speculative asset, seemed like a no brainer. That's probably why they went the other way. Whenever it seems too good to be true, there's easy money to be made on the other side. But maybe they made it illegally. Bitcoin trading in Venezuela is skyrocketing amid 14,000% inflation. And when we talk about inflation, we talk about money printing. In Venezuela, the money has no value, yet they keep printing it. So just like in Germany after World War I, when you had to use a wheelbarrow full of Deutschmarks to buy a loaf of bread, the same situation is happening in Venezuela. You'll get paid on a Friday, and your $1,000 check will be worth $500 by Monday. It's terrifying. Everyone is taking their Venezuelan money, the bolivar, turning it into useful goods like toilet paper and small whiskey bottles and water and food, things that don't go bad over a weekend. But they're also turning their money into Bitcoin. Bitcoin trading volume in Venezuela is exploding because, unlike dollars, which are relatively hard to obtain because of their physical nature, Bitcoin are relatively easy to obtain. They can be sent into the country from anywhere, traded, and then likely held. The Venezuelans, as that article on Twitter recently said, a quote directly from a Venezuelan or an Argentinian gentleman himself, he said, they're not spending Bitcoin here. They're not looking for merchant adoption. This isn't a Bcash situation. This is a real Bitcoin situation where holding on to Bitcoin allows you to maintain or even grow your wealth as opposed to having it completely wrecked and destroyed by inflation. This is happening in the United States, although on a much slower level. Over 100 years, you would have lost 80% of your house if you held your house in US dollars. In Venezuela, you might lose 80% over a weekend. This is what Bitcoin's made for. This is similar to the Cyprus situation of 2013, where the Cypriot banks were claiming outside money in their banks and they were cracking down. And the citizens suddenly realized holding money in the bank is a lot like not holding money. And it's better to hold Bitcoin. And finally, some fun news today. Crypto Manga, a new comic book series, will spread cryptocurrency and awareness. Excellent stuff from Shonen Crypto, which will be published every 3 weeks or 1 month, according to the editor. The series is currently available only online, but he hopes to get it published in physical books in the future. As he said, this is likely the very first comic book series or Japanese manga dedicated to Bitcoin. Way to go, Crypto Manga. And there's only been 21 hours in day 2 of the desktop computer donation drive. And thanks to 2 huge donations of greater than $50 USD, projections are still on track for a pre-July desktop computer for Mad Bitcoins. That's right, Mad Bitcoins, everything plugged in already so we can just sit down and do shows. Desktop computer donation drive chart is open for business. We are accepting your donations right here. Use any of these convenient graphics located all over Twitter. I'm responding randomly to posts. I'm using the enemy's tactics as my own. You can get your own pink Vitalik onesie or perhaps Satoshi's balls just by donating to the Mad Bitcoins desktop donation drive. Remember, send any amount to verify your donation and get a donation equal to the amount you sent. The more you donate, the more you donate. And just checking in on some recent donations, we had a donation of 0.00044,593, 0.0019595, and 0.011. Thanks so much for your support. Every little bit helps. Together, we can buy Mad Bitcoins, a desktop computer, so we can just sit down and do shows and not have to plug anything in. It will be amazing. And check out the Bitcoin News Show today at 12 p.m. with special guests Kaidi, Roman, and Hodl Hodl. Check it out right here on the Bitcoin News Show on the World Crypto Network. Be sure to subscribe down below. Set the bell to receive notifications about when we go on the air. Like and subscribe so that more people will find this show. And that's about it. We're going to show the QR code one more time in case you'd like to donate to the Mad Bitcoins desktop computer drive. We need your help. And that's about it. I was going to check over the chat. Hey, I'm wearing my Vegas Knights shirt here today. Support to the team, even though we lost to the Washington Capitals. Great team, much respect. Ovechkin's been in it a long time, and I know the franchise has been waiting about 45 years or 43 years to get their championship. So shout out to Washington, a great series. Just going to check over the chat, see if there's any questions or anything going on. Let's see. We're talking about Weezer. He's got some new songs out, Africa and Rosanna, both of them 70s covers. Strongly suggest that. I love the drums on the Rosanna cover. It's amazing. Let's see. I'm curious you can hear the computer fan. We're going to check that back later. They say, Crackbag says, time to die, Bitcoin to shitcoins. But you know, those shitcoins always come back. Bitcoin always comes back. Never give up and always hold some, see what you can do. But they say Crackbag is really happy Venezuelans have access to Bitcoin. I agree. It's very exciting. And that's one of the things. I wish I had a glass of water. But when I found Bitcoin years ago, the situation was kind of hopeless. The banks owned everything, the central banks, the Federal Reserve, printing money endlessly, starting all these wars. How are we going to stop that? And then I found Bitcoin. I was like, wow, the little guy has a chance now. If you are Archimedes, if you give me a long enough lever and a place to stand, I'll move the world. Bitcoin is that. Bitcoin is our thing. People are against the idea of loaning your Bitcoin. Remember, the cloud is someone else's computer. So if you're going to loan out your Bitcoin or do cloud mining or whatever, Jeremy says the Venezuelans have lots of access to free colored toilet paper. Some questionable bill printing going on in that country. And I've seen stacks, huge stacks that people use to buy a sandwich. Like, here's my sandwich stack. Are we going to break out soon? Well, it's got to go down before it goes up. Remember the price manipulation? They were trying to push it down. That only works for a certain amount of time. Then they're going to have to do the opposite. They're going to push it up. But remember, they're going to wait until you completely break. Right now, there's a lot of great graphics. I saw a great comic today about strong hands. Adam Meister says strong hands all the time. And yeah, they're waiting for you to break. It's capitulation. It keeps going lower until you say, I can't take any more pain. And when everyone says they can't take any more pain, the thing will finally recover. But again, not until you sell. So that's why sell 70%, sell 50%, break it up. Then you can say, oh, well, I still have some, but now I have less risk. We're really talking about how much do you want to risk in this market? And if it's next month's rent, you might want to hold on to it. But if it's 3 months or 6 months rent, maybe you can let some of that ride. But remember, it is investing because you have knowledge, but it's also gambling because it happens fast and your knowledge isn't necessarily perfect, right? So they say it'll hold around 6,900, which is the long-term trend line support, says Johan in the chat. A. Markowitz is buying Bitcoin now. Other people say 23 Yuva says, I won't break. He has the strong hands. And once again, if you got a job, if you got some money coming in, and if you have a reasonable amount of money invested in Bitcoin, you don't have to worry about losing it. If you don't have a job and you don't have money in, and you have all your money in Bitcoin, it's a stressful time. So, but you just got to do what you can and make sure you have enough money for next month's rent. But thanks so much, everybody, for watching and chatting. Give us a thumbs up and a share. We'll be back later today with the Vortex in just 2 or 3 hours, the Bitcoin News Show live at noon. And they say, yeah, cloud mining is a bad idea. It costs them a lot of money. Mining, personally, for me, has always been a bad idea. It always would have been better just to buy the Bitcoin, not to have the loud fan noise in your house. But if you've got a larger scale mine, maybe you're making money at it. So thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Hopefully, we'll be back tomorrow, maybe around the same time or a little later. Until next time, bye-bye.